All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage, joined by my awesome partners, Casey Jackson and Mr. Benny Allen. I hope everybody is doing well today. So we got some things to talk about this morning. So we're gonna dive in. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So if you guys can hear me okay, drop me a 1 in the chat. It's not available yet. One second. I got you. There we go. We got you set. All right. All right. Cool deal. So we're gonna hop over to trading economics. Good morning, Ms. Mary. I'm gonna hop over to trading economics. And let's see what's happening. So last night, before we even look at trading economics, last night we talked about, Benny talked about a lot. He went over the CPI data, the impact on the dollar pairs, where things were from a fundamental and technical perspective. And then we talked about this yen and posted this article last night regarding potential intervention coming out of Japan. And we talked pretty in depth about what it could mean and the impact that it could have. Some folks said they'd probably stay up overnight. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. 1 second. So Bank of Japan continue to be concerned regarding the sharp movement in the Forex market against the yen, right? And how weak the yen is becoming. And so their talks of intervention have continued to intensify. Well, there was some press conferences was afternoon in Japan today. And President Kuroda, his words were, I'm choosing not to talk about the weakness of the yen. So that sent the markets into kind of a tizzy. They're talking about the potential for this intervention happening sometime in the near future. When they do this, generally they go and they look at the different rates across the banking industry for the yen, and then they make that decision. So the markets responded to this press conference that occurred. So we're going to take a look at yen pairs today. We'll take a look at the dollar quickly, and then we'll bounce over to these yen crosses to see where they are and what they're doing, because we could see continued volatility in the yen. So on this dollar index, okay, and this, I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around because I'm kind of excited about this thing. Let's go back here, fundamentals quickly. So yen raises, right? Japanese yen strengthened past 144 from a 20-year low hit early in the session following reports the Bank of Japan conducted a rate check and possible preparation for currency intervention. The authorities ramped up warnings against rapid yen declines. Japan's top currency diplomat, Masato Kanda, recently commented that the government will respond to currency moves without ruling out any options, as policymakers attempt to verbally defend the currency following sharp losses triggered by U.S. inflation data. The yen lost about 25% of its value against the dollar so far this year due to widening policy divergence. The Bank of Japan vowed to maintain ultra low interest rates at a time when Federal Reserve has been raising rates aggressively to combat inflation. So a break of 145 would bring the yen to levels last reached before Japan and the U.S. jointly decided to intervene in the currency markets back in 1998, right? So we looked at these levels last night. So that's what's happening, right? That's the conversation that's occurring coming out of Japan. We had all of the markets really react to the inflation data that came out for the United States. For the UK, the inflation data that came out at 2 a.m. Unexpectedly edged lower, right, to 9.9% in August from 10.1% in July, which was the highest reading since 1982, and below the market forecast of 10.2%. It's the first time in 11 months that inflation eased amid big slowdowns in cost of motor fuel prices, right? So inflation it came in under expectation for the UK, okay? So that's what we have there. So let's hop over to these charts now. This is the dollar index, right? Yesterday, we saw the strong push to the upside, ran into this previous daily resistance level, and now we're getting some retracement to occur, right? And so you see this across the dollar pairs. We talked about some of those setups last night for the short term, getting some pullbacks coming out of the dollar. And this is what we're seeing, that pullback happening here, okay? So we'll continue to watch this to see if this retracement gets a little bit deeper, comes back to this weekly level to retest this previous consolidation zone, okay? But that's the dollar index and the pullback that we're seeing in this short-term up retracement zone, okay? Any questions on the dollar index or anything fundamentally? No?
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Marshall.
Marshall, what's up, sir?
Regarding Japan and their possible intervention into the value of their currency, do we have any idea when they might make that move?
No. Like I said, President Kuroda intentionally did not speak about that. Generally, they'll from what I have learned, how the cycle goes is they'll verbally try to intervene, say, hey, this is getting pretty bad, which they've been doing for about a month now. And then generally when it happened last, it was on a weekend. And when we came in or when the markets opened the next week, there was a gap.
Gotcha.
Right. So generally, from what I understand, they do it at low volatility times. And generally it comes, last time it came over a weekend. So the reason, from what I understand, is from the low volatility times, they're able to get the maximum impact for that decision. So we'll have to just be cognizant over the next few weeks to see if it occurs, right? So we'll continue to play the markets as we see them from a technical perspective, still utilizing our rules. We'll take a look at the yen crosses and see where they are. But they won't say we're doing this tomorrow. That won't occur. We'll just see the impact of it. Just like when the Swiss bank intervenes, they won't make a public statement that they're going to do it tomorrow. But you'll see things start to turn, and you'll see, like for the Swiss franc, they do it with bank deposits, right? And you'll see deposits start to increase, and that's how they do it. So Yeah, we won't know exactly when it happens.
Okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we just know that it's a strong possibility, and from a trading perspective, we have to ensure that we're trading the levels as we see them from a technical perspective, and looking for those potential U-turn points.
Okay, so no hint like we get with the ECB or the Fed.
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Kim, did you have a question?
No, I think you guys kind of answered it. I was just wondering, and he kind of answered it with the question you had. Thank you.
Gotcha. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So let's take a look at this UJ. Let's come back to the daily time frame. Right. So we pushed up, we hit this daily D extension at 144. 145 was a level that the Bank of Japan was looking at, and we had this push to the upside yesterday after the CPI data, right? And then we saw last night and this morning, we then started to see this push back down, right? So the high we got was 144.958, just before that 145 level. Okay. So we're starting to see this retracement happen. Okay. So as we drop down through the time frames, come down to the 4. All right. On the 4 hour, we're sitting in this 118 to 127 zone. Okay. We got shallow retracement, push up into the zone, and we got double top scenario here. All right. Double top scenario. Okay. And now we're pushing back down. We're testing the cloud now on the 4 hour time frame. Okay. So we'll look to see from a longer time frame perspective, if we get this break the cloud on the 4, we could then be headed lower, potentially getting to that 382 if this intervention occurs and if this continues to press to the downside. It's quite a ways away, right? We talked about it last night. Want to hit the D extension first, but we could be in for a further push down if this intervention does occur. Okay. So we'll continue to watch that from that perspective. Okay. Pressing down. So as we get to the 1, right, we drop to the 1, we see that fib to pop in. We see that double top clearly there at the high. We'll run the fib here on the 1. And this is what we had, right? Clean double top here. Got a 50% retracement. Double top, now we're pressing down. We're back trying to test the cloud here after the strong bullish move to the upside. So we'll see if this continues to break down, right? And this is that strong move. We'll see if we get a break of the cloud on the 1, again, just like the 4, we'll see this continue to break down potentially. We got a daily support level coming in, and then we got lower levels from there. So we want to watch this movement to the downside to see what occurs once we get back to this level of support, which we also created a double bottom here, right? So this is a lower time frame support level. So we'll have to break through a few levels in the event that this thing continues to push to the downside. Okay. So we want to keep our eyes peeled on that. Okay. As we get down to the 15 and look at the cloud break, that's it right there. Right. Now we're pushing back up right now, so we could be in for a little bit of a retracement here on the 15. Okay. But we get a retracement, and then if our lagging span breaks back down below price, we could be in for that move continuing to the downside. Okay. This has been a pretty decent move so far. This was last night, just before midnight, right? Pretty decent move to the downside, 168 pips. We'll look for a retracement and then see if we get a continuation to the downside, at least in this retracement phase. Okay. But that is the yen potentially ready to make a correction. Questions on the yen, on the dollar yen? No? All right, cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro. Casey, good morning.
Good
Hey,
morning,
Ray, how are
Ryan.
you?
Doing well, doing well. How about you guys?
Doing great this morning, man.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Case, you doing all right this morning? No, she's
I'm
probably
good.
not.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Good to have you guys. You guys see anything from a fundamental perspective? Ben, you see anything outside of this yen conversation, or anything to add to the yen conversation?
No, I just hey, just following along with the article that you posted last night, you know, regarding the possibilities for the yen and the intervention. But other than that, just hey, they were all at high prices and at good technical levels.
Yeah, for sure. There was a press conference for us early in the morning, before afternoon in Japan. It happened maybe about an hour and a half ago. And Kuroda basically said he wasn't going to talk about the low prices in the yen, and they're looking at doing a price check on the currency in preparation for intervention.
Hey, that'll do it.
Yeah. So that's where this some of this movement came from. So
Yeah, huge moves across the board.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, from technically, they were already there. You know, they were all sitting in those 80-20 zones.
They were. It's amazing to to see how this thing plays out, man. Amazing to
Indeed.
see how these things play out. Cool deal. So that's the dollar yen. Take a look at the Aussie yen. It's Aussie yen, right? Let's go back to the weekly time frame. We got back to these higher levels. Okay. We pushed through this monthly level. We tried to get through this weekly level, but we weren't able to do it. And we got the strong reaction here, right? Strong reaction, pressing to the downside. Now we're pressing back below these monthly levels. Okay. This is key, right? We said this zone was going to be a very, very strong one for the yen to have to close above, and we were pressing up, right? We were pressing to the upside, looking to potentially continue going, but we got this reaction. Okay, those key levels that Ben is talking about, right? So here we pushed into the 118 and 127 zone, even though we did get a 382 retracement. Now we're pressing down, right? And we see that movement coming back down into the zone. So now we want to see, are we able to break back below this daily level? Okay. This is a daily level here. We want to see if we can break back below that level. If we are, next level is 93,053. Okay. So we'll watch these levels closely. We could get a retracement and then a potential continuation. Okay. There's a drop to the 4. This is what we had. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, reversal. All right. Shallow retracement at 118, 127 zone, reversal. So this is that daily level. If we're able to break through, the 4-hour 382 isn't far away. Okay. So we'll continue to watch that. Like I said, we could be in for, we get to this daily level, we could see a retracement, and then we'll see if we get a continuation, retracement back to retest this monthly zone that we just broke through. Okay. On the 1, this was our active fib to the downside. We hit our D extension, right in line with this daily support. Okay. So once we get we have a swing low here, right? So once it pops in, that'll be our new fib. Okay. So look for a retracement back into this zone. See if we get price to then turn over and come back down. Okay. So on this Aussie yen, don't sell it now, right? Just like on the dollar yen, don't sell it now. Wait for a retracement. Wait for a retracement back into your zone. And then you can place your stop above the high, just above the cloud, all right? So wait for your high price here if you're not in this already to the downside. Okay, look for that. And then we look for opportunities to run that back down to the downside and get into that D extension, breaking that daily support level. Okay, you guys follow me on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So that's the Aussie yen, CAD yen. Again, we come back to the weekly time frame, right? Push into this weekly level, hit the weekly extension. Now we're looking for a swing high at some point to occur, right? Weren't able to fully follow through and break above this weekly resistance, and that's the reaction. Okay. Daily time frame similarly. We consolidated at the D extension, and now we're pressing down, right? It's what we were looking for. It's what we're looking for. Okay. So now we're looking for a new swing high to form. We need candle to close tomorrow lower, and then we'll have a new swing high there, and we'll have new fib levels to play to the downside in this retracement. Okay. That's the daily time frame. We get to the 4. And this is what we're looking like here. We got a 50% retracement on this. Okay. We got a 50% retracement on this, but stalling in this 118, 127 zone at that weekly resistance level. And we're pressing down, right? So again, another scenario where we could get a small pullback to retest this weekly level, and then we'll see if we get some continuation to the downside, okay? Maybe even potentially a crown pattern if we press up just above that level, okay? And come back down, okay? So that's on the 4, looking for price to potentially continue to the downside. Okay. So as we get to the 1, we just consolidated right here at this B boundary level, right? We wicked down at a 382, but we consolidated. We weren't able to break out to the upside, and then we collapsed. Broke through the cloud here, right? Had all of our confirmations, the Kumo twist, TK crossover occurred there, break through the cloud, lagging span, broke through price and the cloud here, coming down, right? So this is where we can look for that retracement to occur. Come back, potentially retest the cloud somewhere in here, retest that weekly level, and then look for a price to turn over and press to the downside. Okay, so again, don't sell it yet. Wait for a high price, right? And then you can place your stop either above the cloud or above the high and look to get short. Okay. Questions on CAD yen?
Hey, Ryan, you'll go
Yes.
back to the daily and just let me see where you started your fib from.
Yeah.
From 73 point.
Yep. If you just scroll back all the way to the lowest point here, and let's move to the upside.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions on this CAD yen? All right, even down on the 15, right? Talking about those confirmations and waiting for them. We had a break through the cloud here, but lagging span broke right back above the cloud and above price, right? So then as price retested the cloud, came back down, then we had this full breakout here. And then you see price just fell off. And we already had our Kumo twist. We already had our TK crossover, and price fell off a cliff. Okay. So wait for that pullback. If you wanted to, you can run your fibs here on the 15, give you some targets as far as the retracement is concerned, right? Look for retracement back into the cloud, and then see if we get price to hold and then turn back over. Okay. Any other questions on this, Cadian?
Nope.
Nope. Cool deal. The Swiss yen, this thing was on the run, man. It was on the run. So weekly time frame, right? We mapped this out. We said, look, at this 118, 127 zone right here, these are all fresh highs, nothing to track from, right? Nothing to track from. So we got this 118, 127 zone on the weekly time frame. Let's keep our eyes peeled here to see if we get any action. Okay. We drop down in the time frames. That red line is this red line here, which is just above the daily D extension. That's the daily D extension that we just missed. Okay. We just missed it, and we're getting this reaction here. Could potentially see price turnover press back up to get to that extension. Only a few pips away. 156.99, 157.63. Okay. So not far away. So we could see, if we get a retracement out of this, we could see this press back up to tap that D extension and then see price finish turning back over. So we'll continue to watch that to see how it plays out. We haven't had a 382 yet. So if it does continue to the downside, wouldn't be completely surprising. Okay. So as we drop down through, we get to the 4. Again, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, consolidation, breakdown, right? We talk about it, and it happens over and over and over and over again, right? So now we're pressing back down. This is that 118, 127 zone off the weekly time frame. This action here is that wick that we saw on the weekly, okay? So now we're turnover. We got a swing high here on the 4, okay? And we're pressing down. And we're pressing down. So again, we could see a retracement, right? If we do, it could potentially push just above. If it doesn't, come back to retest this small zone of consolidation. We'll see it better on the 1, right? But right in this area. Oops. Right in that zone. And then see if we get price to continue to the downside. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So again, another scenario, don't sell it yet. Wait for a high price and wait for it to turn over. Okay. As we drop to the 1, right? We're getting close to our confirmations here. Haven't gotten them yet though, right? Which signals for that potential retracement, right? So if we don't press up to get to that D extension, right, we could press up and give a head and shoulders action here, right? So one of two options if we don't push back up and break that high, right? So, whoops. So we'll watch this and watch for this retracement to occur. Okay, we stay below the low, potentially coming back. This was 1 hour support here, right? So we could come back and retest that. Okay. Could come back and retest that. All right. So we'll watch for that retracement and then look for those short opportunities. Okay. Questions on this?
No, sir.
Hey, Bradley, the big green box is the 118, 127 zone off the weekly time frame. I just brought that down through the time frame so that I could monitor that zone. All right. So if we get this, if we start to get this breakdown, right, lower highs and lower lows, 382 is down here at 143, quite a ways away. All right. So we'll look to see if we get that pullback and follow through. Okay. As we drop to the 1, Oh, we were here, right? Looking for these confirmations, look for that lagging span to break through the cloud, right? It hasn't yet. So be patient and let this pullback do its thing, right? We're getting that Kumo twist now. We got our TK cross over here. So we got a little bit of time to wait. Got a little bit of time to wait. So be patient. Don't rush, don't rush, don't rush, right? Allow that one to completely form for us. Okay. On the 15, this is what that would look like. You already got your break, you already got your twist, your crossover, and your lagging span breaking through, but we're looking for this pullback to occur, right? So if you run any fibs on the 15 to the downside, you got a 618 coming in right here to be a retest of the cloud out in this zone here. Okay. So you can monitor it from that perspective as well to get you back into your zone. Okay. And then we'll look for on the one, that follow through. Cool. So that's the Swiss yen. Look at this EJ. We talked about it yesterday. Casey did a video on it as well, right? Looking for price to break down. That's the 1 hour bounce back, and take a look at it from a higher time frame perspective first. Weekly, right? We didn't quite get to that D extension. Okay. But we also haven't had a 382. We've been watching this for quite some time, looking to see, will we get this? Will we get this? Will we get this? We still don't know yet. That's a long way away, right? But we didn't get to the D extension either. Okay, so we came just shy, and now we're getting price to turn over and press down, right? We broke back below this weekly level that we wanted to see if that would occur. On the weekly time frame, it's showing as indecision currently. Strong bullish move. We got indecision here on the weekly. Okay. So on the 4, right, we said we wanted to press up into that zone. Coincidentally, this is that daily D extension, and it's right in between this 118 and 127 zone. Okay. Didn't officially get that high, but pushed up 118 and 127 off of a shallow retracement. We got consolidation. Yesterday, we said watch for one more push to the upside. We got that one more push to the upside, and then we broke down. All right. So we're on the move to the downside now. So again, scenario where we'll look for retracement on the lower time frames and then potential continuation lower. Okay. So at least get us to that 382 because we haven't gotten to 382 yet. Okay. On the 1, this is what we look like. So yesterday, when we're talking about this, right, we hadn't broken through the cloud yet, right? We hadn't broken through the cloud yet. So that told us, hey, we could be in for another retracement to the upside, which we got. And then once we broke through the cloud, lagging span broke through the cloud, we fell off. So now we're looking for that retracement there. Okay. So if you run the sub fib to the downside, okay, we hit the D extension. Now once the new fib pops in, the D extension was there, first swing low, bang, right? So retracement back into a 618 zone will put us right back into the cloud to retest that cloud that we broke out of, right? In this weekly resistance level. Okay. So be patient and allow that pullback to happen. Once you get it back into your zone, then we can look at potential continuations. We see the cycle. We see the pattern.
Yeah, good.
Questions on this euro yen? Looking for at least to continue down to this daily level, right? But we need a retracement first. Need a retracement first. Okay. All right, cool deal. Then the pound yen. And Ben, you looked at this one last night too, man. Pushed up into this daily resistance zone, right? To the top of this range.
Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, right? Back into the top of the range. And now we're pressing down, right? Came back below this daily, was resistance level. Okay. So we'll see if we stay below that and can continue to at least press down to this 163.855 zone. Okay. As we continue to drop through, Benny pointed this out, right? We hadn't gotten to 382 and we pushed right into that 118, 127 zone. Shallow retracement, 118, 127, breakdown. Over and over and over again. All right. So 382 is still a little bit away on this 4, right? We'll see if we get that follow through and continuation. Here on the 1, this was the look. Also, there we go. Also, shallow retracement. Sorry about that. Shallow retracement. It was just a spike, but right into that 118, 127 zone. Breakdown. Right? Breakdown. Now we're retesting the cloud here. We got to break out of the lagging span, pull back and retest the cloud also. Okay. So keep our eyes peeled here. We could press a little bit deeper, coming back to retest this previous zone of consolidation. Okay. So we could get a slightly deeper push there. Okay. Could see a deeper push there. And then similar to the others, we'll look for reversal, potential continuation to the downside. Okay. On the 15, you see that clean. We had that consolidation, we had that spike, and after that spike, we saw things start to break down. We had a cloud twist here, which was high, but above price nonetheless, pressing down. TK crossover occurred there on the spike. And then our lagging span as price broke down came back below here, right? All of those confirmations, it looks weird, but they came there and then price just continued to press to the downside. Okay. So looking for one more move back to the upside to retest. And then we'll look for that continued breakdown to the downside, at least in the short term. Questions on any of these yen crosses?
No.
No. So be patient and let these retracements continue, and then we'll look for some follow through. Okay. All right. The other I wanted to look at was, take a look back at this Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, Donette, they're nice. They're nice. They came in.
Yeah. Did you do the NZD, JPY? No.
Nope, I didn't. I'm sorry. Missed that one. And the other thing about these about this intervention is it likely won't impact other pairs, right? Other currencies. It's likely just going to be isolated to the yen crosses. Okay. So sometimes when you see this, it could potentially impact others, but this time investors don't think that it will impact other currencies. It's just solely a yen thing. But NZD JPY daily time frame. We're on our 5th year. Okay. Now, I originally took the fib off because we've been just playing in this consolidation, right? We got a just shy of a 618 retracement, but we haven't really been able to break out of anything to the upside or to the downside, right? So I'll pull that back off and we'll look at it just from a support and resistance perspective. Okay. We pushed up into the zone, right? Weekly resistance, tried to close above, not able to, turn over, press down. Started this press down yesterday with the dollar news. right, with the dollar news. So zoom in for us. Okay. Now we're breaking down back below this daily resistance level. So if we're able to close below that, we could be headed even lower down to at least this 84,220 level. Okay. 84,220. So as we move down through the time frames, okay, here we can look at the fib sequence on the 4. Here. Right. And we see this push into this weekly resistance level, right, was a new AB boundary. Weren't able to push into the 118, 127 zone, but then we got that breakdown. Okay. Shallow retracement, push up, not quite the 118, turnover, press down. All right. So sitting at 382 right now, clear close below this daily level. Right. So we could potentially, again, see a retracement. It might just be to that daily level, could be a little bit deeper, but then we'll look for continuation to the downside. Now with this one, you also want to keep in mind, right? We didn't look at the calendar, but we have some dollar news coming up at 8:30. Okay. PPI, more inflationary data, right? Producer price index, right? So if this one comes in hot like the CPI data did, okay, we could see more volatility in the dollar as well, which could also push this NZD-JPY down. Okay, could see that continue to the downside. So this one will be good to watch, and we may not get this deep retracement, right? We may not. If that data comes in short, we could. That might be the catalyst for that retracement to occur. But if the data comes in hot, we could see this just continue to press lower. Okay. Excuse me. So keep your eyes on that. Excuse me, as we move through. Okay. So we get to the 1 and we look at this here. That got taken out. On the 1, we're sitting at a 618 retracement. Okay. Have a good one, Brandy. Sitting at a 618 retracement, right? Haven't gotten much of a retracement to the downside on this move. So we'll see, right? If you run our sub fib from the top to the bottom, you see you did get a 382, which will lend to price continue to press to the downside. Okay. But we'll see. We'll see how that data comes out. We could just see a press to that daily and then a continued move lower. Okay. But down nonetheless. Down nonetheless. If we drop the cloud on, just to see those confirmations, bang, right? Move down yesterday, gave us all of our confirmations, right? And we got a slight pullback and then continued press lower. Okay. So we're looking for that to continue. We could see a pullback and then go, similar to those other yen crosses. Questions on the NZD-JPY? No?
Nope.
Cool deal. Cool deal. Let's take a look at this Aussie New Zealand real quick. It's just hovering up here in these higher zones, right? We press back up. We said last week if we broke back above this monthly level, we could get a double top scenario, right? And that's what's occurring currently, right? As long as we stay below. So we got a strong reaction here. Now we got some indecision on the day so far. Okay. So we'll see if we get this to turn over, create a swing high at that level and break back below this monthly resistance level. Okay. So as we drop down through the time frames, get to the 4, right? That press back up, we also talked about it, getting to that D extension, right? And that's what it did. Got to that D extension. Okay. So now we're looking for price to potentially continue to the downside. Okay. We got a nice strong bearish candle here. some consolidation, small retracement. Now we're turning over, looking to press down. Okay, looking to press down. So that played out as we needed it to. Take that off. So now looking for this continuation lower. This monthly level is going to be key for us, right? We'll need a break below. So we're 38, 40 pips away from that level, right? We'll need a break below this to give us confirmation of a potential deeper move on this to the downside. Okay. We'll need that. So on the daily time frame, let's bounce back real quick, right? We haven't gotten that 382. So a break below that will at least take us back to this daily support, right? We got another support level here. My mouse is so touchy. There we go. We got this daily support here. Okay, that we'll also have to break through. But this stronghold here could be a catalyst for us to continue pressing to the downside, right? And if we continue to get strong dollar data, right, we could see a continued breakdown in the Aussie as well. Even though the Aussie and New Zealand are in the same region, right, we could see this press to the downside. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking for once we get a break below this monthly level. Okay, so we get down to the 1. On the 1, we haven't broken the cloud yet. We're getting close, right? Lagging span is broken through price, not quite close to the cloud yet. So we're still waiting on all of our confirmations. We got our TK crossover. We don't have a Kumo twist yet, right? We're looking for lagging span also breakthrough price. So we got a little bit of ways to go. So it could be down here at this monthly level that we get all of those confirmations. Okay. And that'll be okay. If that occurs, that'll kind of give us more insight and more confirmation that we're pressing to the downside, right? It'll also take out the A, right, of this fib once we get all of those confirmations to the downside. Okay. So keep your eyes peeled on the 1 if you aren't already in this short. Okay. On the 15, this is our look, right? We've already gotten those confirmations. We retested the cloud and we're pressing down. Okay. Lagging span is playing inside price right now. So that's what we want to see, right? We want to see that. You see I pop back down to the downside. So as this candle closes, right, that'll give us some more confirmation that we're going to continue moving down. Okay. So watch this one for this continued move, right? If you're waiting for the confirmation on the 1, be patient, allow it to do its thing, because it's still quite a ways, bounce back to the daily, still quite a ways for it to go if it's going to go. Okay. That daily 382 is 391 pips away, right? That daily support is 100. So we got another 200, 300 pips to the downside after we break that support. So you got a ways to go. So be patient and allow for your confirmations to present themselves. Okay. Questions on the Aussie and New Zealand? No?
No.
All right. Cool deal. And I want to look at this pound Swiss. Pound Swiss. So we've been watching this one. Benny and I talked about it yesterday, right? So we're at all-time lows. Okay. We're at all-time lows. We're at all-time lows. Okay. Still haven't gotten to the D extension. Pushed through this 118, 127 zone. The strong bearish close below. So what I'm looking for to see is if price breaks back above this monthly all-time low level. Okay. I really would like to see that to give me additional confirmation that we could be moving back to the upside. Okay. So we got a little bit to wait and see if that occurs. So we drop down to the 4. On the 4, we also have 118 and 127 zone. Okay. We got a nice swing low that is formed here. Okay. So this is a level of support on the 4 hour. Right. But I want to break back above this monthly level because we closed strongly below it on that daily. Right. So I want to see a strong break back above that level to give me some confirmation that we're headed back to the upside. Okay. So on the 4 hour, that's what I'm looking for there. Okay. 382 is quite a ways away, so we can be patient with it and allow it to give us what we need, right? 300 pips to the upside still. Okay. So as we get down to the 1, waiting on those confirmations on the 1, right? Because again, on the 1, just like the other time frames, shallow retracement 118 127 zone. Okay. So be patient and wait for this 1 hour to give us that confirmation, right, of our cloud. Or if you use your trend lines, get your break of your trend line. Okay. Wait for it here on the 1 hour just to ensure that we're not in early and this thing doesn't just retest this monthly level that we broke through and continue pressing down. Okay. Have a good one, Bradley. Okay. So be patient with it. Be patient with it. Be patient with it. Okay. There. Okay. So that's your trend line and that's your cloud. So either way you look at it. Okay. Make sure you get those confirmations. We already got the swing low. That's beautiful. Now we want a strong break above this monthly level and a break above our trend line. Okay. We're pulling back right now. Right. So allow it to pull back and push and break up. Okay. And we also want that lagging span to break above as well. Okay. So be patient here, but keep your eyes on this one. We could be in for a move to the upside once we get those confirmations. Okay. Questions on this pound Swiss? Nope. Okay. Sweet. And pound dollar. Pound dollar. So Benny broke this one down last night, right? We're still present to the downside. That dollar news gave us that nice strong push to the downside. You said on the lower time frames, we'll look for a retracement, right? We're looking at that pound news this morning that came in below expectation. Okay. So kind of puts us in a space where the Bank of England, when it comes time later in the month for their rate statement, they may not be hawkish. We'll see, right? But inflation is pressing high, so they may not be as hawkish as anticipated, right? Trend line to the downside. So we want to see, it would have been like that. We want to see this retracement and then potential continuation lower, okay? On the 4, take the cloud off of this. All right, from a fib perspective, we got a 382, a 236. We press down. Now we're starting to get price to turn over a little bit. We may not get a 382 off of this, but we could press back up into this zone depending on how this dollar news comes out at 8:30, right? But we're looking for a retracement to happen here. Would love for it to come back up to these levels. We'll see how that news impacts this pair, okay? But we're looking for a retracement nonetheless. As we drop down to the 1, right? We're looking for a retracement to occur here. Okay, this is that move back up to the top side of that bearish candle. Okay, so we're at a deep retracement, right? We got to an 8.6 retracement level off the fib. We didn't get to the D extension, so now the matching D extension is here at the 118. Okay, so if we do get this retracement, right, it'll put us back to the matching D extension and we'll get a new fib to the upside, right? Now, conversely, if that news comes out pretty hot, we could see this thing just press down, take out the A, get to this monthly support level. Okay. So keep your eyes peeled on that. If you run your sub fib from the top to the bottom, that's your AB boundary. Haven't gotten that 382 off the sub fib yet, right? Which could lend for at some point another push to the upside, maybe a push down to this 118, 127 zone to take out that A, give us that 80-20 scenario, and then give us that retracement. Okay. So a couple different options there to watch, right? If we don't push up now, we'll see how the market responds at this monthly support level, which is held strong so far. Okay. So we'll pay attention to this dynamic here as that news plays out to see where price goes. If it gives us the high price now, beautiful, right? We'll look for those short opportunities. If it does not, then it's just going to push down into the 118, 127 zone, take out the A. These fibs will no longer be active. That set will no longer be active, and this will be our active fib to the downside, right? And then we'll have an opportunity, if this level holds, to play the 80-20 back to the upside. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So pound dollar. Questions there? No? Cool deal.
Oh.
Any questions on anything that we covered this morning?
No, not right now.
No?
Great session.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So keep your eyes peeled on these dollar pairs. Like I said, news at 8:30. We'll see how that impacts, right? We'll look for those retracements to continue. Yeah, and be patient. Allow your rules to come into play. Okay. If no other questions, appreciate you being to be back with us tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session. And we'll see how the day plays out. All right. You guys have a phenomenal day. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Peace.
Right.
Session, right?